You can just do a sound check to be
Sure.
sure. I'm always a little.
Recording.
Alyssa Medina, could you please unmute and let us know if you can hear us? Alyssa?
Hello.
Great. Thank you.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we're good. Okay. Normally it says it's recording. No,
But it's
but
recorded.
it's recording. Okay, super. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the what is it, November 17th meeting of the Personnel Commission, right? Fall is really here. We're convening just a little bit late at 4:32. Secretary, would you kindly call the roll?
Sure. Chairperson Goldstein,
Present?
Vice Chairperson Alford,
Present.
and Commissioner Roder.
Here. Thank you. We'll move on to item 3 of our agenda. This is the public comment segment. I see we've got certainly some folks on Zoom and one person in the room. Is there anyone who would like to make a public comment? We'll start with the room. Public comment? Or are you here just to talk to an item?
Just
To an item. Okay, great. Let's go to the Zoom then. If there's anyone who'd like to make a public comment, please just use the hand raise icon. Do we see anybody? No. Okay, there is another public comment section at the end of the meeting. So if you'd like to speak then towards the end of the meeting, we'll do it again. Let's move on to item 4, the approval and the adoption of the agenda.
I move to approve and adopt the agenda.
Seconded.
Actually, but before we do that, just can we find out which item you're here to speak on?
I'm here for eight. Yeah, 8A.
8A. Okay, super. Then at the top of the line, so we're good. Okay.
Second.
Yeah, actually, can I ask, I'd like to pull in consent items 7D and F for brief discussion.
Bears and the second.
Right, bears in the second, IT after school, before and after school.
With me.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
well,
you.
I withdraw my previous motion and move that we approve and adopt the agenda as modified.
Second.
Thank you. I agree. Okay. Let's move on to the approval of the meeting minutes from our last meeting. This was the October 29th meeting. Does anybody have any changes? Edits? You know, once again, Sarah, thank you for capturing everything so succinctly. Appreciate that too. Do I have a motion?
I will move.
Thank you. I'll second. How's that? Just to mix it up a little bit. You agree?
And I vote yes.
Okay, great. All right, so our meeting minutes from the October 29 meeting are approved. Let's move on to item 6, reports. So we'll start with the union. Is the union here with the report?
Yes.
Yeah, I have no reports.
No report?
No report.
Report. Okay, all right. Thank you, Frank. How about the district? Is the district here? Report?
Let's see anybody.
Okay, no, nobody from the district. Commissioners,
I'll go.
please.
Just 2 quick things. One is, I want to thank the Board of Education for reappointing me as a commissioner on this commission. I just took the oath of office again. So I look forward to another term. And lastly, I want to wish everybody here and everybody on Zoom and elsewhere a very happy Thanksgiving, since this, I think, will be our meeting before Thanksgiving. And have a wonderful time with family, friends, and just to relax a little bit. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you and congratulations. on
Thank you.
being reappointed. Commissioner Alford.
I will echo the holiday wish. And that's all.
Okay, that's easy.
Yeah.
My report is also fairly brief. As the third in line, I'll also echo the holiday wish. And I'll just comment, driving here today, I drove past the Berkeley Adult School on San Pablo and I am watching our, housing
Wonderful.
go up. And it's really exciting to see it go up and to see the progress.
Mhm.
So, I think it's just gonna help us retain and recruit that much more, and I'm excited for it to get built,
Very good.
and that's my report. So now we move to our executive director for her report.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for being here tonight. I'm also going to repeat, some information regarding Izzy's official reappointment. Right before the meeting, he was sworn in as a district appointed commissioner for his new term that's beginning on December 1st. His reappointment was approved by the board at their November 5th meeting. So his term will run now through 2028. And I'm personally super grateful that Izzy is continuing to service at the commission. Working with him has always been an opportunity to learn. And I'm super grateful for and appreciate his knowledge and how caring he is towards the classified staff. And then also how he's always considering the broader needs of the district. So thank you for staying on for another 3 years.
Thank you for those kind words.
And I'd also want to then go back to our personnel activity for the month of October. As shown in the report on page 6, October was a very active month. The commission team administered 214 exams, averaging about 11 exams per day. And this, we were targeting the IA2 special education and IT BASP recruitments. We also generated 8 new eligibility lists. And then we also saw a steady level of onboarding. Several new hires were processed across the district. And similar to the previous month, many of these appointments were also in the IA2 SPED and IT before and after school classifications. We're continuing to maintain our 2-week recruitment cycle for both of those positions to support hiring there. We're also continuing to collaborate with the after-school department, the extended day department. As we shared last month, sites identified positions currently filled by contractors in the IT positions. And so the board actually already approved creating 10 new positions in that IT classification to replace those contractors.
Great.
So we're meeting regularly to explore additional staffing strategies. As mentioned, we're looking at expanded FTE opportunities and flexible work schedules like 410 scheduling models. And we're actually having a meeting this upcoming Friday to discuss progress in that department. And then finally, we're preparing for our next recruitment and hiring event. That's taking place this Wednesday, November 19th, just ahead of the break, the Thanksgiving break. So our focus will remain targeting those recruitments for IA2 SPED and for IT, and to get candidates to apply, test, and onboard on the same day. We had such excellent outcomes at our last event. So we're looking for another strong turnout to continue filling those dates. So I'll share a little more information about the IA2 SPEDs when we get to that point in our meeting when we discuss the IA2 SPED report. So for now, this concludes my update.
Thank you. Thank you. The rate of throughput, I guess would be the right word, is really striking to me. And I guess that is probably indicative of, I hope, some of what we have to offer, some of what the current environment is and jobs environment is. And yes, looking forward to hearing more. Please.
Aaron, can you help me understand a little bit the difference between so IT in this instance stands for instructional technician, right?
Yes.
What's the difference between the IA position, instructional assistant position, and the instructional tech position.
Yeah, so the instructional tech position is an after-school instructor position. So typically those employees will work before and after school. And they do not typically work with special ed as part of the special ed department's different position.
Right, but how about the IA Bears?
IA Bears is also not part of the special ed. It's IA Bears is like a early morning position.
Early morning,
Yeah,
not afternoon.
no,
Okay, and which is the higher classification? The,
IA Sped and IT are in the same range. And then IA Bears is a lower level, range 31, the others are range 36.
oh, all right, thank you.
Other questions? Commissioners reports, okay,
Frank has his hand up.
thank you. I'm sorry, who had?
Frank?
Frank, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Aaron, I believe remember we changed the range of the bears? I think they're at 36 now.
ITE is 36 and ITK is
Oh,
30.
TK. See, I
Yes.
keep getting confused with that.
I know.
TK
There's a
and
lot of
bears,
IA
because they were bears and
Yeah,
they were bears.
yeah, we separated the TK from the bears.
Yes.
So, yeah,
I would imagine that at some point, we're due for a reconciliation of our job families,
we definitely are.
then
Yeah,
that probably will be maybe a spring
yeah.
thing.
But they work at bears, but they're not bears, right? Is that correct?
Right. Anyone else have any questions about the executive director's report? Nobody online? Okay, let's go on. We're on to item 7. This is the consent items for our eligibility lists. If we could just take a minute maybe and talk about items D and F, I think it'll be fairly short and then we'll go on. Normally, just as a matter of practice, when we don't get a full 3 ranks, I'm just always interested to hear what the circumstances were. And these were the 2 positions, the IA Bears and the IT before and after school. Second recruitment, and maybe that explains it, but I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, so for IT, it was since we're turning those over every 2 weeks. You know, and those are the part-time difficult to recruit for positions. We just weren't able to generate, I mean, because the way that we're listing, the list, we run 2 different recruitments this month, but as you can see, the other IT recruitment, we did have more than 3 ranks, and we just reposted it right away, and it's like a different recruitment, and we're just separating those so that you guys can see that they're actually 2 different recruitments, but they're technically on the same list.
So do you see from that, are there any inferences you're drawing from that?
Not really. So like normally when we were doing them once a month, we did have a few more candidates on the list, but I feel like we didn't get as many overall because we moved them along the way. And so definitely as we're recruiting with that tighter turnover, I think we're actually getting more people on the list.
Right,
So,
overall, more
yeah.
people,
Yeah.
but maybe also sort of seeing, you know, who knows? I don't know that we've seen enough of the back-to-back recruitments
Yeah.
to know if the first one is the bigger draw, you know, and the second one is just sort of catching people who are new to the pool.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that as soon as we close it, we reopen it immediately. So it just depends on the date that it closes and then when the applicants apply, but the recruitment is always posted. It's open and ongoing, so you're always gonna see it. Just kind of depends on whether early in the month is gonna make a difference as opposed to like later in the month.
Interesting. Okay, we'll keep watching just
Yeah.
to see how it works.
Yeah.
Solly had a question.
I have a
I have a
question.
question too.
Okay,
Just in terms of for the IA before and after school. There are enough vacancies that everyone on both those lists will be sent an offer.
So right now, I don't know if you guys recall last month, we talked about how for the first time ever, we have about 5. We had about 5 vacancies at the time. And so we held this emergency meeting with the after-school department to let them know that, you know, we're running new recruitments and we're also having this hiring event, and we know that there are contractors out there but we don't have positions, you know, to offer the candidates. And so that's why that whole push was made to get those positions over to the board to be approved. So as of now, like, everybody that gets on these lists is gonna be offered a position as of this month.
Mhm.
So if we get to fill all of those vacancies by the end of this month, we might not have any more positions to offer like next, but we'll have to wait and see.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yes, everybody's getting a job offer at this point.
Commissioner
Well,
Walker?
Commissioner Alpert asked my question, and, you know, that's a good thing.
Yes,
That there
Big
are,
problem, yeah.
that's a problem, a good problem to have.
Yeah.
But so if we ever reach the time when when these contractor positions are filled, and there really aren't a whole lot of positions, maybe there's only 1 or 2 vacancies, will we still have these 2 lists or even 3 lists?
I don't think that would be necessary.
Yeah, that would be inappropriate, I think.
Yeah, because, you know, our staff resources have to go to other recruitments at that point.
Yeah, well, and we wouldn't know which list a hiring manager should draw from, and, yeah, that would be confusing.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. The Bears?
So the Bears, so as we kind of briefly discussed before, it is a lower level, like, you know, the salary is a bit lower, which is why I feel that we had a difficult recruitment this time around. We didn't get enough people on the eligibility list, and yet the minimum qualifications still call for like 6 college semester ECE units. And so we definitely have to revisit those minimum qualifications with the salary and the compensation.
Mhm.
But I believe that was the issue here. We only have 1 vacancy at this point in that classification, but we did repost it just so that we can get like a full complete list with 3 eligibles.
Got it. Is this one of the positions that if I know we are looking at, you know, trying to combine, you know, part-time positions?
Yeah.
And it would seem like maybe this is one of those ones that is a candidate. for that.
Yeah, I know that when we were talking about combining the schedules, we were mostly looking at IASPED and ITs. But we also know then there's IAKs at sites that we could also use and combine their schedules with the ITs.
Mhm.
I'm
People
not-
who are the morning shift,
Yes,
right?
that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Because it's all about kind of the timing and the
Right.
schedule.
Right.
So, there are very few IA bears at this point in our district, but I believe we're gonna be looking at all of those, you know, daytime IA positions. And try to see how we can, you know, supplement an employee's,
Right.
you know, schedule with IT, work.
And is the thought that, you know, for someone who's doing the TK work or something, you know, the first approach would be to take existing employees and try to entice them to take the Bears role?
To take the IT, the after school.
I'm right, then maybe I'm missing something. The IA Bear is the before,
There,
School role.
yes,
right?
yes.
Who would be our employee population job class that would be the natural fit with the
Right
IA?
now, we're
Bears?
focusing on the IA speds
Mhm.
to supplement their schedule with IT work.
Got it.
Yeah.
And, but,
In a 4-10 schedule. potentially.
okay, so
Yeah.
just so I'm clear,
Yeah.
maybe the rest of you are clear, I'm not where I am. An IA sped starts work, you know, when school starts, you know, and we're staggered, right? So
Yeah.
some schools are 8:30 and some are 9:30, right?
Like 8 or 8:30.
8 or 8:30, so they would be the population who we would offer the Bears role to, because that's really a before school.
We're not really targeting the Bears position. There's only 1 vacancy in the Bears.
Right,
right?
right
Or
now,
the
yeah.
after school position that we're trying to, where we do tend to have more vacancies.
Got it.
And obviously with the ISPED positions, we're gonna have a lot of vacancies there, so those are the two that we're really trying to.
All right, so we're really not focusing on the bears. It's just that we
Not
have a
really,
vacancy.
no.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Got it.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that in addition, besides schedule, which is important, we have to look at salary range.
Right.
So, in other words, it would be, maybe it's feasible, but it'd be very complicated if these two classifications had different salaries.
It's-
So that part of the day they're working at one salary and the other part of the day they're working at a different, whereas, as I understand it, this IA speds and the instructional technicians are on the same salary range.
Yeah.
Right, so from a payroll administration perspective, I get it makes life simpler, and I think that's probably also why we will take a look at the job class families and rationalize.
For sure.
Again, if
Yeah.
we think that we have impediments there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That was the extent of my questions on the consent items. Anybody else?
No, if there aren't any other issues, I'll move adoption of the consent items.
Second,
And I agree. And I will say that once again, average 8-day interval in exams, so well done, thank you.
excellent, excellent.
Let's move on to item 8. These are our conference items. We have many advanced step requests and then a couple of other different things at the end. And we will start with 8A, and our secretary will tell us about this one, and then we have the person in the room who can speak to their request.
I will try to be brief with all of these. They're numerous. So this item is a request for advanced step placement for Joher Waziz, a new school bus driver. Ms. Waziz has prior school bus driving experience, along with experience in early childhood and after school settings. This has strengthened her student supervision and communication skills. Her background supports her ability to transport students safely and work effectively with families and staff. Therefore, I am recommending an advanced step placement at step 3, but I will say, I was a little torn between the 3 and the 4 because I was only able to count 2 years of relevant work experience for Ms. Waziz. However, you know, this is a challenging recruitment. I was looking at our rubric and, you know, we do award an extra step for education, but we also look at other types of training and certifications that the incumbent would have. And so in this case, we do know that the bus drivers, they're required to, their minimum qualifications just to screen in are lengthy. And so Ms. Waziz obviously has all of those qualifications, but you know, I didn't count those qualifications towards her steps. So I was a bit torn between the 3 and the 4. As far as relevant work experience, I was able to count 2 years. So.
Questions from any commissioners?
Well, I do have some comments, but frankly, I'd love to hear from Ms. Waziz,
Oh, okay, that's fine,
if that's okay.
sure.
That would be helpful.
Please.
Thank you.
Hi, congratulations on your position and good afternoon, everybody. So, as you know, being a bus driver is a hard position to fill and to do. Being on the road with the big bus and the kids on the bus is not easy. But I grew to love the position. I love driving school bus and I love being around the kids. Talking about my history, I drove in Indiana. So we went through the training and I drove the school year over there. It was awesome. And it was big experience because the weather over there is harsher than here. And I guess the intensity is more over there, but the number of kids going on the school bus is more over there. But, driving over there gave me the experience and the confidence of being a good and safe school bus driver. And, I moved back to California. So I went through the training camp because the California license has to be, they don't take Indiana license. So it's like I went through the training 2 times. And that's a plus that builds me stronger and better driver. Last year I drove the first student the school year, but I live in Berkeley and I have a kid that goes to school in Berkeley. So this is my aim future job. So I want to build and be here as my permanent position. But I took lots of child development classes because I was aiming to be an assistant teacher and then hopefully a teacher, but I discovered this position that I love so much. But the classes I took and I worked a few years as a preschool teacher, and at all the classes I took, it helps me communicate with the children and control them on the bus. And I'm from North Africa. I am multilingual. I speak French and Arabic. And in Berkeley, it's a diverse community. And I love seeing the parents and talk in different language, like I was speaking French with her. I am a people person and I love what I do. And I don't want to be forced to look for another job to make ends meet because it's too expensive to live in Berkeley and have kids. And the beginning of this school year, because getting to Berkeley was a hard process. So you take a test, it took a while. So this school year I started working for Zoom in Oakland. But like I said, I was just waiting for Berkeley because this is what I want to do and this is where I want to be. And I feel like stepping down because the compensation at Zoom is at the step 5 over here. And I feel like I earned it by working hard and all these classes and the trainings I did. And you can ask my supervisors or the way they can see me how I was driving. I've been with the USD since the 20th. It's almost a month. I've been on the road every day. I jumped on field trips. I'm a cover driver, so I'm taking every day different bus or I am. I feel like I'm good at it and I know it, feel like I deserve it. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for the background. There's nothing like wanting to be in your home school district, right?
Yes.
So, questions, comments?
Questions, more comments than questions. So first off, welcome to the Berkeley Unified School District. We are so happy to have you as you're obviously a very well qualified, very well spoken bus driver who I'm quite sure can handle the kids on the bus, which is no easy task. Yeah, my son took the bus for a while and it's not easy. So with that said, it strikes me, Ms. Boaziz
Yes.
requested a step 5. As Erin has said, she was torn between the step 3 and the step 4. The step 3 clearly, is based on previous experience as a bus driver. 2 years as a bus driver gives you step 3. My feeling is that we should take into consideration Ms. Boaziz's service and experience as a preschool teacher, and the fact that she also has the equivalent of a bachelor's degree, which is not a requirement. I don't think that's not a requirement for a bus driver. No, that's not a requirement. So that's over and above the minimum qualifications, and certainly having been a teacher in the past is very relevant to quote unquote controlling the student population on the bus. So I would advocate at a minimum step 4, and I think that Erin would support that because she was sort of in between 3 and 4 anyway. So those are my comments.
Thank you.
I was just wondering if there was any comment from the union. But otherwise I echo your sentiments.
You were wondering if what, I didn't.
There was any comment from the union.
There is, Yazid has his hand up. I don't know if it's for this. So would you like to speak, Yazid? Sorry.
That's fine.
Yes, good evening, good evening. Yeah, so I want to add to what Johar Bozi said about the position. Is like, again and again, we all know that finding the right bus driver is a very hard task. We've been seeing that through the years, especially in the last year. And also you have to take in consideration hiring somebody, then is it possible to retain? What is the retention rate for Berkeley? Because what happened, it's not hard to find a job as a bus driver. We have a lot of competition. Zoom is offering, they are even making commercials, and all the other companies that can hire. And our weakest point is that we do not train our own drivers. So we hire from the outside. So for us to hire a driver, needs to have all the requirements. And honestly, when we find one, we should make everything possible for us to retain that driver, especially drivers like Johar. Last time you guys approved Michelle to step 5, and Johar has all the experience necessary. I work for the transportation department and I'm a technician over there. I know when a driver knows what he's doing. Johar did not need any extra training, and you can confirm that from her manager, that all she needs to do is just show her the route, and the next day she's back to work. And I hope you guys take that in consideration. And I really appreciate if you guys move her to step 5, so that maybe sells her and we retain her as a school bus driver. I have to say, thank you so much for giving me the time.
Absolutely, thank you. Checking commissioners, any further comments? I want to go back to our criteria, okay, because I'm sort of torn here also. Right now, our criteria at the bottom, we talk about credit for a step at the educational, on the educational qualifications. Okay, 1 step regardless of the number of degrees, right? If related to the minimum quals of the position. So this was an area where you could not give step credit, right?
As far as the certifications she.
Well, as far as, she has a BA or, equivalent, but because the position, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're talking the basic degree, not an advanced degree for a position that only required, a BA. So we're kind of back to the experience qualification. And right now, the way we have it written is for directly related experience. So the question here is, as a bus driver, is the other experience that she brings, which is great in terms of, preschool age, younger kids, control. Do you construe that to be directly related experience? Is there something in the job description that we can point to that helps us be able to construe it as directly related experience?
I mean, I don't have it with me, but I'm pretty certain that there is a level of management of students in that bus driver job description. So in that regard, I would say yes, that can be directly related. It is one of the duties of the bus driver job description. It's not, a driving duty, but the classroom management or student management.
So let's take it to other classified positions just to see if this holds water. When we have other classified, and I'm trying to think of what other classified positions might have this. For example, someone who does maintenance, who maybe has background as a preschool teacher, would we say that that is directly related experience?
No, not in that particular case.
Because the work of the maintenance technician is, who sort of excludes children directly, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Our before and after school positions, our IA positions would all recognize this kind of experience, even if it wasn't explicitly special ed, right? Are there any other positions out there that we should be thinking about as we make this decision? Nutritional services, for example?
Essentially because the industry is very different, but they're also working closely with
Right.
students.
Mhm.
So that's a.
So would we be prepared? We haven't had a nutritional services. Not
Yeah.
good, opening or, question about step and dance in front of us in a long time.
Mhm.
Are there any other positions, commissioners, that you can think of? Where, if we apply it here, we,
Maybe like the school admins, like the office managers at a
Mhm.
school site. If they have,
and we actually have one of those here.
yeah,
Right, in this portfolio of things that we're considering. So can we be consistent?
I believe that I can.
Oh, okay, I
Moving
mean,
forward, I know we're starting a precedent, and looking at, something that seems like it's a different industry, but where the duties overlap.
mhm. Comment?
I just wanted to point that, I love the way you mentioned it, because as a bus driver, you're by yourself on the bus.
I was just gonna say this.
It's not the same thing as when you're at school. You have a principal, you have another teacher, you have a coworker to help you.
Mhm.
When you're on the bus,
I was just gonna.
you're dealing with a wheelchair kid
Right,
that needs help with her work or something, or you need, special need bus to strap them, they're getting up.
Mhm.
And you have a kid with seizures. It's like you're there by yourself.
right,
You need to manage. If there is an emergency on the road, your road is blocked, you need to change and kids are screaming, yelling. You're there on the road by yourself.
right,
It's like, we try as much to control it and not like overwhelm dispatch. It's like, you're responsible for those kids. It's like a moving classroom where lots of kids with different needs,
Mhm.
especially like as a cab driver right now, you're going like one day with special need bus, one day with like 50 kids on the bus, 75 kids. It's like, it's different when you're on the road.
Mhm.
It's a bigger responsibility, I feel like, than being in the classroom, because I was in the classroom. It's not as like, you don't feel as much responsibility as when you're on the road with so many kids to keep safe
Mhm.
and ensure they're safe in the bus and safe on the outside.
Right.
So I just wanted to point that on the bus is different than the school.
Point taken,
Yeah.
point taken. Are you able to call it the job description? The
Yes.
bus driver?
Also, Frank has his hand.
Yeah,
I did notice that
and
the
I see
second,
Frank has his hand up also.
the second duty is maintain order and discipline among passengers on the bus and while waiting at the bus stops in accordance with policies related to disciplining students. Communicate effectively with school staff and parents regarding student behavior as needed. Oops. See it. Prepare behavior conduct reports to document incidents and negative behaviors of students.
Mhm. Okay. Thank
Like
you.
how negatively that.
Yes, it doesn't sound very positive, but it's.
Frank, you have a comment on this?
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to piggyback off of what Yazzie said. The retention for this position is very important. Since I've been here about 10 years, and I don't know if it's true, but it definitely feels like it, definitely in the last 6 years for sure, like they've never had these positions filled. And I believe, Aaron could probably comment and tell you the correct number, but I think there's around 22 bus drivers, or maybe even more. We've always had, it seems like 2, 3, 4 vacancies. This is like one of the hardest to fill positions there is out there, and there's not that many. So the retention level, I think this would help The piggyback part is, I agree with Yazid when he says 5. I think you guys should call away to 5. Don't stop at 4, or just keep on going. So that's my comment. Should
Thank
move
you.
to 5. Thanks.
Thank you.
And I will say that, this will probably be the first time that all the vacancies are filled in the school bus driver classification.
Well, that'd be exciting. Yeah.
Frank is right that, you know, it is a very challenging recruitment. We've had open and ongoing recruitment for years since I've been here, and they deal with, it's a high stress position, so there's also a lot of leaves in the department that need to be filled. So, this will be the first time that we are looking at filling all vacancies, so, yes, it absolutely fits that criteria.
So let's look at experience then, and tell me, including, it looks like what you are proposing we include is the Carmel Clay School District school bus driver, right? The, school bus driver experience 24, 25. You know, we're halfway into 25, 26. And then the Primrose School experience is what you're suggesting.
Yes, so if we were to consider that as, in relevant
Mm-hmm.
experience, then we would, yes, consider the infant toddler teacher experience that, Ms. Aziz has from 2021 to 2024.
Right. And the age of the children, just because you're here.
I was in the classroom from 9 months to 22 months. But once they started driving the school bus, between 9 to 1, I was still working at the preschool. And it was a floater. I was mostly between 4 to 5 years old.
So 4 to 5, generally speaking, where
Yes.
the age of the kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll leave it to your discretion. So are we revising the recommendation on this?
So we will consider the classroom experience as relevant experience, then that would actually qualify her for step 5.
Well, if there's not a whole lot more comment, I move that we adopt step 5 as the appropriate step for Ms. Bouez Aziz.
I'll second.
I'll agree, and what I'll ask is, we need to come back to our criteria
Our rubric.
so that we are more clear about, adjacent experience. Okay, because against what we have written today, direct experience, this is not a match, you know, but I understand the idea, I understand the need, I understand the value of the experience that you bring.
Well,
So-
let me just, I think the motion passed.
Yes,
I
the motion
understand.
passed.
But I just wanted to dissent on one comment, and that is, I do think it's directly related. I think that being a classroom teacher for 3 years and having the experience of controlling a classroom, or at least in part, is in fact directly related experience. Frankly, if it weren't directly related experience, I wouldn't vote for it. So that's my feeling.
Appreciate the comment.
Yes.
I think we need to be a little tighter on identifying. I guess in HR world, you know, they go by job descriptions. Bus driver is a bus driver, classroom teacher is a classroom teacher. So when you are applying direct experience, you know, the title matters. However, take your point.
Yeah, I mean, we did hear from Sarah about all of the requirements
Yes,
in the job
yeah.
description for controlling of the students.
agree.
So therefore, I think it's direct, and I'll be quiet now.
I'll give you the last word. How's that? I won't argue. Okay, all right.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Has his hand up again?
And have a wonderful career here.
Thank
All
you, I
right.
appreciate it.
Go ahead, please.
Can I speak?
Yes, please.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yazid again. I would like to thank the commissioners for the vote. And I want to add, this is just a note that Johar, she's already, I think, a teacher. I'm not sure what her credentials, but I think we hired two people today. One is a bus school driver, the other one is a teacher. Because I think Berkeley still have that program where you can go and get a bachelor degree and become a teacher. That's what my wife did, actually. She's a bus driver, but she's still going to school to become a teacher. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we can get back to that program, but yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Secretary, if you would do our next one?
So moving on to item 8B, this is a request for bed placement for our student. She's an IA2 sped at Berkeley High. She brings extensive experience in caregiving, behavioral support, and instructional assistance, along with strong certifications and recommendations. And her background shows strong readiness to support students with diverse and specialized needs. I'm recommending an advanced step placement at step 5 for Ms. Creedick. And she is also, I believe, a contractor that we were able to hire. So I'm not sure she's here, but
I don't see her.
Is she on the,
No.
in the Zoom? No. Then I'll go with commissioner comments first before we go back to the Zoom for comments.
I don't have any additional comments. I agree with the executive director's recommendation.
I agree as well.
So I guess I have a question. I saw solid direct experience from October of 2022 to current, so 22 to 23, 24 to 25. So I see 3 years for a step 4. I'm not sure what you saw that took you to step 5.
I was looking at her education as well. She has here. And the CNA certification.
So I see credits towards the BA, right? I see some college,
Yeah, sorry, she
Right.
has 48 credits completed.
right?
And her certified nursing assistant license as well.
So is this sort of a combined,
Yeah.
On
looking
the
at
two of
college
these?
with the combined.
so clarify for me, because I guess maybe I have not fully understood when we give educational credit. And I more thought it was for the circumstances where a position required a BA, for example, and we were lucky enough to get a candidate with an advanced degree where we gave the credit. For this position, do we require a BA?
We don't know.
We don't.
I would consider it in every request I receive if it's a relevant education, not only if it requires them.
Right, so for purposes of, psychology and the CNA is where you do the composite.
Yeah.
Okay. Based on that, and that's what takes it to step 5. Is there, one more time, commissioners? Questions? Is there anyone on Zoom who has a comment or a question? Okay. You ready to vote? My motion?
I'll move approval of the recommendation.
Second.
Okay, I'll support as well. So we are placing it step 5. It's Creatic, is that how it's pronounced? Arlene?
Yeah.
Okay, as an IA2 step 5.
Okay, and then this next item, there was a typo, and I apologize. The candidate requested a step 4. And so that will be my recommendation at the moment, because that is what the candidate requested. This is a step advanced placement request for Alyssa Medina, an IA2 sped. She currently holds a bachelor's degree and graduate coursework as well, and in sociology and is pursuing a master's. And she has direct experience supporting students with disabilities in both school and clinical settings, and then she also has CPR and first aid certifications. So, difficult recruitment, and this is a highly qualified candidate. I am requesting or recommending a step forward based on her request.
And is the candidate, she is? Okay, would you like to speak? Alyssa Medina?
Um, Hi, yes, thank you so much for reading my suggestion or my request. Yeah, I believe everything I have on paper is what I could say over the phone. So I don't have any comments as of right now, but just thank you um for viewing my suggestion and my request. That's it. Thank you.
Ms. Medina was also a contractor as
Mhm.
well, so
Yes.
I have questions about that and
So I have a step 5 question. So she, the 3 to 5 years, so how many years of experience does she have?
I counted I counted 3.5 years. I think is what I put on my flyer,
Did you
over 3
count,
years, but she requested a step 4.
did you count intern experience?
Um,
Because as I look at the resume, I mean, this is great, you know, in terms of the behavioral tech experience and the paraprofessional, very directly related. And I think that takes us as far back as 2024, right? Year of 24, year, you know, half of the year of 25. Typically intern, because it is a sort of a supervised position, is not something that we have counted in the past. So, you know, I'm kind of going further back in the resume, to see, you know, what else we can rely on, right?
there's,
And I see behavioral technician in, for half a semester, it looks like, in 2023. Right? And then I see after school, which, you know, again, typically, you know, for a day position, we don't count. So I'm curious how it got layered together.
well, again, I was looking at the direct experience, which was over 3 years, and then educational, the education piece. But Ms. Medina requested a step 4, which is sort of aligned with.
Direct experience that includes internships.
The internship I did not include. Yes, I did include the internship, but that was only August and December through December. 2 months.
I think for a lot of good reasons. Internship and is not something that we should be counting. Okay, only because it's supervised position. It makes sense to me to certainly count the behavioral tech in 2023.
Yeah.
And I don't know how deep you go in this. Was this a full-time position, the behavioral tech position? Do you know?
The way I saw it, yes, because most of she's working for Emergis. And that is one of the contractors that we consistently use, and so they are typically full-time.
Oh, you're ahead of me. I didn't even see Emergis in here.
Oh, it's in her resume,
That's what I'm looking at.
Page 32.
yeah. So it's
Oh,
right
I'm on page
underneath her
37.
job
Okay,
title.
hang on. Sorry, I'm in the wrong place. Okay. No, I'm in the resume. All right,
Page the
resume
first-
starts on page 32.
Yeah, the school behavioral
Right.
technician emerges on first step.
Emergis. So you see the entry from 2023, that was also Emergis?
Oh, from 2020.
That's what I'm asking, on page 37.
2023. The after-school position, do you?
No?
It says Behavior Nation.
Yep.
Oh, behavior tech. That would not be, I don't believe that's an internship.
No, that wasn't my question. My question was, do we think it's a full-time position?
Oh, the behavior tech, I would think that it would be, again, because it's done through a staffing agency. So typically,
Is that what Behavior Nation is?
yeah, I believe so, it's a agency.
So let me go back then. Not counting the internships, counting the emergence experience. I go back and I see something that runs from March 2025 to the present, right? Two different things, school behavioral technician and registered behavioral technician. You know, so I am assuming these were two different gigs that you think amalgamated to a full-time position?
Yes,
Okay,
different agencies.
all right, so now I can account for 9 months, okay? I'm working backwards to, all
Paraprofessional,
right,
January to December, so like a year.
right. Okay, so I've got a year and 9 months. We can round up to 2. I don't think we can count case manager intern. I don't think we can count education specialist internship. I don't think that math teacher for a summer program is enough time. This looks like it was really just a month or 2. Okay. After school program, not, you know, full school day. So again, I'm not counting that.
Usually the after-school program leads work full-time.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, so
all right. So we've got 3 or 4 months here.
and then for substitute work, September to January. She was working as a sub for the says here that she helped sub in different programs throughout the Oakland campus.
All right, so you think this is pretty much constituted also full-time work for several months,
The substitute work.
right? September 23, January 24, so that's 4 months.
Yeah.
All right, so let's count 9 months, 1 year, 4 months and 4 months. Right? So what are we up to?
A year and 2 years and 3 months.
Okay. And do we think that the behavioral technician in 2023 for 5 months qualifies?
I believe so, yeah. That's directly related.
So now we're up to 2 years, 8 months?
Yeah.
2 years, 8 months. Okay,
Plus education. We're gonna get you 4.
all right. So does that get us to 4?
We're gonna round up for a few months, yes.
Okay. Okay. No, look, I'm asking because, you know, other people come and look at these decisions. And in the past, the commission has been really careful about counting fractional, engagements. You know, at all, you know, which may not be fair, you know, and I'm not sure where we draw the line, you know, is a 3-month engagement, you know, plus another 3 months, plus another 3 months, you know, it's a hard work environment out there, hard employment environment, so I don't want to discount that. But I want us to be consistent, so, while we are updating our criteria, I think we also need to update our criteria for, you know, let's be precise about, do we include internships or do we not? Let's be precise about how long, you know, if you're in a position for 2 months, you know, is it meaningful or, you know, or not? You know, what is the threshold amount of a continuous gig that we would actually count if we're going to do composite? And, you know, I applaud that we want to keep good people, right? But we're sort of in gray area here, and I'd like for us to be in less gray area,
I confirm something.
please.
I think you said this before, Aaron, but I want to be sure. A bachelor's degree is not a minimum qualification for this position, right? So we would count having a bachelor's degree in sociology for one step.
Oh, we don't have a bachelor's degree here. We have a composite. We have
Then maybe I'm wrong.
48 credits in psychology. Am I,
It says bachelor's
Hang on.
degree in sociology, I don't know.
I'm sorry, am I, maybe I'm. Now I'm
Think she
conflating
could be-
things.
She is the,
Confusing her with the one before. I think.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. All right, so.
yeah, she is
I'm
the
sorry.
sociology bachelor's and she's doing the master's.
Okay.
Pursuing her master's.
Okay. Okay. All right, so composite, where are we on this one?
I think 4 is where we're at.
Yeah.
Four.
right.
After all is said and
All
done.
right, 4 years credit, composite.
And I will make that as a motion.
Frank has his hand up. I don't know if you.
Okay, thank you. Frank, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I just want to throw my 2 cents in on the whole, I don't know, in my world, I went to a 5-year apprenticeship, right? Okay, after the 5-year apprenticeship, you turn out and you're considered journeyman. I've never heard anyone say, well, how many years have you been a journeyman? I've been an electrician for 7 years, 8 years, 20 years, 30 years. You don't say, oh, and plus the apprenticeship part. So I get the internship. My son's actually just finished one, but you're doing that work. And yeah, you're being supervised, but everybody's being supervised. So I'm just think we're trying to define something that we really don't need to. I mean, you're doing that work, apprenticeship or whatever you want to call it. You're doing that work in that field. So it's just my 2 cents. That's just how I feel. I haven't been an electrician for 25 years as a journeyman. I've been an electrician for 30 years. That includes my 5-year apprenticeship. So, I'm a 30-year electrician for 30 years. Just saying. Thanks.
Okay, no, appreciate it. I think as a matter of context, I would say for the trades, often the journeyman versus the apprentice categories have to do with compensation. I think they're different than when we look at internships and more highly supervised experiences that I see here. So I don't think they're quite the same. And that's why I called them out, as, internships. You're still working with a significant amount of supervision. Often you're working unpaid. I mean, in this case, it's good work. I ideally hope that they were paid. But I don't, hold my ground on this. I don't think this is appropriate experience to count against step advance. But notwithstanding, okay, did we have a motion?
Yes.
Is that,
Well, I made a motion, step 4.
And I seconded it.
okay? And I'll agree. For step 4. Okay, so congratulations, Ms. Medina. You are,
Thank you.
step 4.
Thank you.
And good luck in the role.
And good luck with your masters.
Yes, indeed. All right, let's move on.
So the next item is a request for advanced placement for Ansar Mohammed, instructional technician before and after school. Ms. Mohammed brings several years of experience supporting students in extended learning and behavioral intervention settings. Her references emphasize her dependability and strong rapport with students, and I am recommending advanced step placement at step 4. And that is what Ms. Mohammed has requested as well.
And is Ms. Mohammed online? No, all right. No, throw it open to the commissioners.
No.
And nothing for me. I agree.
Okay, well, then I move that Ms. Mohammed be placed at step 4.
I second.
And I agree.
Okay, moving on to, item 8E. This item is a request for advanced step placement for Stephen Rambajan, senior human resources technician. Mr. Rambajan brings more than a decade of HR experience in recruitment, operations, benefits, and the HRIS system across public and private organizations. His background reflects, deep technical expertise and responsibilities that are well beyond entry level, and I am recommending an advanced step placement at step 5. This was also a challenging recruitment, and we ran the recruitment twice in the last couple of months, and so from the first list, we did not generate enough eligibles to move forward, and so we had to repost the position. I don't know if.
Is he present?
He's not.
Okay, all right. I'll throw it to the commissioner.
Well, the only, I mean, I agree with, the recommendation, but, I would. I'm trying to look here. I think it's important in these because it is a threshold requirement for a step advance, that it be a difficult, to recruit for position. And so consequently, I think it'd be really, really helpful, as part of the write-up to include everything that you said just now.
Yeah.
I think it's that those, I mean, that puts my mind completely at ease that this was a difficult to recruit for position. But if you could include that in the write-up, that would be really helpful.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good point. Is there anyone online who has a comment?
Not that I see.
Okay, thank you.
I'll move the recommendation.
Great. Okay,
I second that.
and I agree.
Okay, so the next item is a request for advanced step placement for Crystal Ramirez, school admin 2. Ms. Ramirez has extensive administrative experience, supporting, offices, including scheduling, record keeping, customer service, and fast-paced environments. Her skill set aligns closely with the needs of a busy school office, and so, the school admin 2 classification, remains a challenging position to recruit for. It tends to, we often will generate a full list with enough eligibles. However, there's turnover in that position, and there's a constant need for employees who are seeking limited term assignments as well. And so we often, exhaust the list and have to repost. So it is often the case that we post several times during the year for this classification. It is the main secretary role in a school, in our school offices, the school admin 2 classification. So that's
Okay.
my recommendation.
Is Crystal Ramirez here? Great. Crystal, would you like to talk to us about this?
Hi, this is Crystal. I just wanted to say thank you for inviting me to view this meeting, and thank you for considering my request. I look forward to joining the school and joining the community here. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners?
I understand she requested a step 4 placement.
I'm with you. Yeah.
10 to 15 years of experience would qualify her for a 5.
I agree. Is there a reason you drew the line at the office coordinator position?
Well, if Ms. Ramirez would have requested a higher step, I would have considered it, but I am recommending the step that she requested.
Okay.
Well, I agree with our executive director in terms of honoring the request by the employee. Clearly, Ms. Ramirez is highly qualified, and I think that we're very, very fortunate to be having her as an admin too in the school district. But my view is that in addition to our role, which is our primary role of being fair to our employees, to the classified employees, we have a secondary role of being stewards of the financial condition of the school district. And I would say that absent a really compelling reason to go against the request of the employee, that as Ms. Arenas did, I would go with the request of the employee and not above it. But other commissioners may have a different view.
I do have a different view. I remember a few meetings ago, and maybe Commissioner Alpert can help me remember exactly what the role was.
I believe it was an IS, but we had a whole raft of IS beds.
Yeah.
And one of them had requested a step 4, but was,
That's what I thought. I
Last
remembered.
that was last
I
one.
think that happened twice, maybe.
Right.
Last meeting,
And the obligation we have to be fair is important. People don't fully understand this process. Sometimes we question how we're applying the process, witness what went on at this meeting. So I think what I take from what Ms. Ramirez put in is she thought she ought not be at step 1. She thought she had plenty of adequate experience. That she didn't ask for step 5 doesn't mean that based on the criteria that we have been evaluating folks against through this whole meeting, that we don't apply it just because she didn't ask for it. Much as we did with the IA2 SMEDs.
We can also ask her.
Well, if she can resubmit, but I
Well, I
don't
mean-
want to make her go through that.
No,
either.
I was just gonna ask if there was a reason she requested a step 4 rather than a step 5.
That's a good
based on her
question.
understanding of the.
I mean, since she's on the call. Ms. Ramirez, did you hear the question?
Yes, I did.
What prompted you to request step 4?
To be honest, I was merely being modest. I didn't want to over ask. And, I wanted to be respectful of the process as well. So that was my reasoning.
Okay, appreciate that. Appreciate hearing
I
that.
appreciate that too.
I'll just say, I think as a man, I know that I think it's hard to ignore that, women tend to be modest.
I think you have to ask for what you want.
Yes.
Yes.
But I know in these settings, there are pressures and there are conditionings, and I don't know, just recognizing the sexism of all of it. But I would make a motion for a step 5 placement.
And I'll second.
Well, I'll abstain.
Okay. Good. Motion passes at step 5. Congratulations, Ms. Ramirez.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming to BUSD and working at our schools. Which school are you at?
I'll be at Ruth Actie starting December 1st.
Sweet. Okay, great.
Yes. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. All right, we're almost at the end there. Item G.
I'm very confused because I thought Mr. Ramirez had already started in October. And that's the information I have, that.
Okay.
Unless there was a last minute delay or a change.
Would that impact
Very
anything?
strange.
Oh, well, no, not from our perspective, but I see what you're shook at. Yeah, like where'd you get the information from? Right. Yeah. Okay, take that as an item to go back and.
Yeah.
Look
I'll
at.
have to
Okay.
check on that. Okay, so, the last step advance request item, 8G is a request for Tina Woods, school bus driver. Ms. Woods has, over 5, or actually several years of experience in student transportation and also customer service roles. Her background supports her readiness for this role, and due to the challenging recruitment for this, for the position, Ms. Woods and her strong background, I'm recommending advanced step placement at step 5.
And is Ms. Woods on the call?
She was, but I don't see her now.
All right, let's take a minute and have commissioners chat and see if maybe she comes back. I just have one, because it was hard for me to tell from the resume. I think you probably did some other research that I don't know about.
Yeah, so
Um,
I went into Ms. Wood's application where she did indicate the dates
The end
that
dates.
she worked, yeah.
Okay, so she was AC Transit from 2018 till when?
Oh, I'm sorry, Heidi, but I didn't write them down.
Ah,
I
okay,
counted them,
okay,
to
all right.
ensure that
all right.
she definitely had over 5 years of driving.
I'll take that. I mean, you know,
Apologize.
I mean, as a bus driver in 2020, it looks like, you know, if there are no breaks between starting with MV transportation and moving to Zum services, you know, the 5 years are there. I was just wondering how long.
Yeah.
Because AC Transit's sort of its own animal.
Yeah.
Okay. Commissioners, any other comments?
No, I don't have any questions. I agree with our executive director's recommendation.
Is there anyone on the call, or is Ms. Woods back?
Can't see her.
Okay,
I'll move approval of the recommendation.
Second,
okay, I agree. Step 5. So now we have no vacancies for bus drivers?
I believe the
Knock on
list
wood.
that we send them this month will be the
The last one.
last, yeah.
That would be really exciting.
That would be-
Okay. Sweet, okay, great, thank you. And thank you all for a spirited discussion
Yeah.
about how we apply our criteria. Let's go into item H. Secretary, if you would.
Sure, so, this is a recurring item, regarding the recruitment for the IA2 special education positions, and outlines the next steps in forming the, staffing and recruitment committee. So we, as you were able to see throughout this meeting, we continue to make progress in hiring, recruiting, and reducing contractor use and filling our vacancies in the district. We are holding regular meetings to explore those alternative scheduling options, as I've mentioned before. We don't have a hard copy of our report. We brought one forward 2 weeks ago. We do have a hard copy.
No,
The
I
summary.
just the summary.
Okay, so we don't have a hard copy of the report, but it is available electronically, and we'll provide it when we
You
publish.
should
But
already.
we do have a summary of the report, and so,
Thank you.
we're
Here,
here,
I'll just pass it.
summary, this is only like a 2-week summary. So, we're covering the last 3 meetings and the information we brought forward at our last 3 meetings, so we, the major differences are that we've had, can I get a copy
Oh,
of that?
yeah, sorry, it's actually just the last 2. I don't know why I left off the first one.
That's okay. So we've had 3 new hires, but we're also have 12 new IAs that are going through onboarding right now. So we also are happy to report 2 less contractors. And then as we see here, there are those unaccounted positions. Actually, some of our district staff have reviewed financial reports, and they've been shared with me as well, that included the contractor information, and that data actually aligns very closely with our data that we brought forward and reviewed with you all. So through that review and our review here, it's confirmed that there are about 30 positions, give or take, because that number changes, seems like weekly, but 30 positions that are currently unaccounted for, that are filled by contractors where there is no FTE. And so the district has notified us that they are going to be bringing forward a new request to the board. Apparently it's gonna happen this month to establish 30 new, the number, I don't have a final count on the number, but it is about over 30 new IA2 positions. So just like we did in last spring with 48 for the fall, we're gonna bring 30 new ones. And so we're pretty impressed that our numbers match those fiscal numbers.
Yeah.
Pretty closely.
It's exciting when that happens.
Yeah. And so, just as an update, also, we have connected with, just advertising we've connected with the Alameda County Office of Education, who has launched their Parent Institute. They do it several times a year, and so they've had a recent recruitment event on Friday, and so Brian was able to head over there, and we reached out to all of the participants in that institute, sent them our event information, and he was able to kind of distribute more flyers and encourage everybody to attend our event this Wednesday. So we are going to be establishing that committee. And so my recommendation today is that we recommend a personnel commissioner, that you commissioners appoint a personnel commissioner who will serve on this committee as we establish it very, very shortly.
Great.
One question. On these unaccounted positions and the fact that, you've looked at payroll records and their contractors and all of that, and they align with your records as well, that's all well and good. But has there been some effort, I assume by the SPED department, some effort to demonstrate what those unaccounted positions are doing? What sites they're in, and the need for them and all of that, as opposed to, I guess, kind of blindly just going to the school board and saying, we need 30 more FTE. Do we know
So we do have
who those people are?
Yes, so we do have contractor names, we have sites, we have FTE. So they are all accounted for in that regard. We were able to get that information from those fiscal reports. Yeah.
Okay,
I have a follow-on question, which is it's 30 positions. How much FTE is it?
Yeah, I think it was, it was just emailed to me, it was just emailed to me today. We reviewed it.
Right, so you have a lot of
Meeting,
numbers in your
but
head.
Yeah, I can't say for sure. I don't wanna
Okay.
misspeak about the FD. I know that they're working on developing the memo that will be going to a board meeting shortly. So I
Okay.
can get, some firm numbers.
All right, I mean, typically, it's not a one-for-one correspondence, so I
Yeah,
would assume it
Because
is
some are
some
0.8,
lesser, yeah.
there are a few like 0.6
Mhm,
positions. Most are 0.8, and then there are a few 1.0s as well.
right, so we're probably somewhere between 25 and 27 FTE, is that something?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, all right, just curious.
Almost there.
It's been great
It's
progress.
almost too easy.
Knock on wood, don't say that.
Can I ask a question about what you're making about separations? Because if I'm reading your chart right, as of 10/29, 10 new hires, 3 separations for that period,
Yeah.
onboarding 9, and then, 11/17, 3 new hires and 3 separations, onboarding 12. So what are you thinking about the fallout? Is this just like sort of the standing
I think
fallout rate?
I
or-
think we do see slightly more separations around this time of the year as we get closer to the holidays, but we also are hiring so many more IAs, so that number's gone up. I know the 3 separations that recently took place, I believe one of them was a retirement,
Mhm.
and then 2, I'm not sure yet, well, there's another sort of kind of like,
So they're not necessarily flameouts of
No.
the hires, it's just kind of life events happening with everybody else.
yeah,
Uh,
I believe one of those, 2 might be. So, Gonna look into that a little bit more closely.
that was kind of what I was testing for, just,
Yeah.
was there's something, as we're gathering the pool, we're all enthusiastic, we're all excited, and somehow they get here and they think, oh, this isn't what I thought it was,
Yeah,
and I'm really.
Yeah,
That's what I'm looking
we've
for.
definitely brought that up in our meetings, and it's definitely gonna be a topic that we cover when we do have the committee, and how we can, what we can do about that retention, and then maybe just looking at recruitment strategies as far as, having some type of, maybe creating some kind of tools for new hires even before they apply, to kind of give them an idea as to what the position entails.
Yeah.
and What they're walking into, so.
I think
we
that's a great
definitely
idea.
Talked about that, yeah.
Which kind of leads us
Go
along.
ahead, go ahead.
I was actually going to start talking about who wanted to be on the.
Oh, I just wanted to ask one question. And I'm not sure that this
Someone has
is
their hand
the
up.
process that you're utilizing, but my understanding was that, like, for these 26 unaccounted positions that we have now, that the district, you, HR, are reticent in contacting the contractors who are currently in that position and saying, oh, apply to BUSD. I'll just finish and then you can correct me when I'm wrong. But that the union, for example, has no such qualms and shouldn't. And maybe there are others, word of mouth, other techniques for contacting those contractors, since they're already in the position. Maybe they want to apply and, potentially remain in the position. Can you address that a little bit? Ed?
Yeah, so as you've noticed, we have had more, our new hires or those requesting step advances are the ones that we see, yeah, these that were contractors. And so, I do know that, I've talked about it with our program, the special ed program supervisors, and they are definitely spreading the word now. And they are recruiting those contractors and encouraging them to apply for the BUSD position, as are some principals as well too. So I think there's been a shift in that. Yeah.
Okay, that's all for the
Yeah.
better. See
Yeah,
what the
like it was cleared
ramifications are.
it was cleared up that, we weren't gonna be facing a $30,000 fine, which is originally what.
Or a fee.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Okay, thank you.
All right, good. Checking with you, no comments, okay, let's go to Denise.
Denise, did you want to speak? Okay.
Yes, thank you. My question is, I have two questions actually. The summary that the commissioners are receiving, is that going to be available to others as well? And then the second part of that question, second part is in offering the contractors the position, they get paid more being a contractor than they would being a BUSD employee, and especially knowing what the job entails. Like, people may apply for jobs, and then once they get into it, especially this type of position, they say, no, I'm not being paid enough, I can't do this, and therefore they leave. So when people are coming into this position, how are they informed of actually what it entails, rather than just everybody's looking for a job. So rather than saying, oh, come apply for this, I got it, but once they get there, they're saying, I can't handle it. How's that being dealt with?
yeah, so,
Let's speak first to how
Go
we're
first.
distributing.
yeah, so the summary, Denise, we're going to publish it with our agenda. We're gonna add it to our published agenda, so it will be available
Right,
online shortly.
thank you.
It's just something we worked on today to update, because we wanted the most up-to-date numbers. So, we'll make sure to include it in our agenda packet. And then, yeah, as we discussed before, Denise, we have talked to some of those contractors, and it's not actually the case so much anymore that they are getting paid more than our IAs. I believe, like, some of the RBTs, the registered behavioral tests, they might have a higher salary, but a lot of our IA contractors that we've talked to have confirmed that they are not getting paid more by the agency. than they are with BUSD, and they don't receive all of the fringe benefits, the medical benefits and paid vacations and holidays. So, but we do need to make progress in, you know, orientation and training for those IAs. And, you know, because, yeah, like I do think that we have seen sometimes that quick turnover, and it's a mystery to us why that's happening. We provide exit in questionnaires that I try to look into, but you know, they don't typically fill those out. And so, but we've started having those conversations with the special ed department, how we can get these new IAs a training and what kind of tools we can use even before they start, so that they know what the position is like.
You know, I'll make a comment that there's just a certain amount of structural churn that is hard to avoid. You know, someone who applied for our job applied for another job, and our job came through first and they said, sure. And then the other job came through and it paid more, and they never showed up for our job, you know, which is not an unusual circumstance.
Yeah.
So, you know, understanding the difference between that versus someone who showed up and was really surprised by what the job was would be the distinction.
Yeah.
So that'll be a useful thing for the committee to work on.
And
Please.
I guess two things. One, which might be directly relevant to Denise's question about the pay differential between the contractor and BUSD. And as Aaron says, that differential has been closed to a large degree. And then secondly, the contractors don't get the fringe benefits. But in addition, we heard from one or two contractors recently about how almost stressful being a contractor is for a number of reasons. One of them is you never know if you're going to have work that particular day. And that one of the BUSD hires who had been a contractor told us that she wouldn't find out that she didn't have work until the day of, and there was no compensation for that. And she was relying on it, and it was just extremely stressful. So that's one difference. Another difference that we have heard from the IA speds who've talked to us is that, I don't know, for want of a better term, it's like esprit de corps, morale. The fact that when you are a contractor, you're just kind of isolated in your own job. Whereas when you're an employee of BUSD, you have, and this can always be improved, there's no question about it, but a support system that's operating, which, you know, helps, we hope, with both recruitment and retention. The last thing I wanted to mention, and this is kind of obvious, there's the fact that the salary, the hourly wage might be different from, you know, what the IA sped gets as a contractor versus BUSD. But what BUSD pays for that contractor has a huge differential. And of course, the difference there is entirely within the pocket of the agency. And that's one of our great desires and goals, is to reduce all that money that's going into the contractor agency that's basically being thrown away by BUSD. Sometimes it's sort of unavoidable that's the case, but Aaron, Sarah, the rest of our staff and the union and HR are just making, I think, tremendous progress in closing that gap and reducing our reliance on contractors. And that's just a great achievement.
Absolutely. a good rule of thumb with contractors is normally the employee, if they're lucky, is getting 60% of the build rate. More often, they're getting 50 to 55% of the build rate. And even if you consider that fringe benefits are another 30% on top of wage, you know, you're still spending a lot of extra money with contractors. Are we ready to talk about a representative to the committee?
I know that you'd expressed interest.
I do. I've been interested in this subject now for a few years. And yeah, I'd be honored to serve on this committee. I think we also should have an alternate in the event that, you know, we can't have two people serve because that would be a quorum. But yeah, we should have an alternate too. But
Well, let's take things one at a time. I would like to nominate Commissioner Roder
I will
to
second that.
serve on the committee.
I vote yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, you will represent us very, very ably. I would suggest that for the alternative person, do we need to actually nominate somebody, do you think, for that, or can we kind of
Whichever of the two
play
is
it by
available.
ear, you know, depending on?
No, I think there ought to be somebody who's my own personal opinion, who's a designated alternate, who's gonna, you know, sort of be following the proceedings a little bit more. And then if I can't make it, for whatever reason, then that person can step in. I think it'd be better, frankly.
Do you have a preference? I'm happy to do it. I'm happy for you to do it, whatever.
I think you should do it.
Then I will put myself forward.
Awesome, thank you.
And I
Okay,
nominate Vice Chairperson Alpert to be the alternate.
and I second.
And can we just make sure I get the calendar invite? I won't show up unless I need it, but so I can keep it clear.
Okay. All right,
Okay,
super.
Right?
Okay,
Denise
Great.
has her hand up again.
Denise, go ahead, please.
Yes, and that, just to be clear, would you say the name of the committee you guys are referring to?
Sure, this is our item 8H in our packet. And the committee is described as, Erin, help me, where am I looking here? Does the committee have a formal name or is it?
Probably like just the, what did I gave it the I2 sped staffing and recruitment committee.
Okay, is that actually in the background information?
The recommendation
Okay, yeah, where do we find that? What
in the
paragraph?
very bottom.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Right, so it's in the 1, 2, 3, the fourth paragraph down. That's a mouthful. The instructional assistant to special education staffing and recruitment subcommittee.
Not subcommittee.
Or it says subcommittee here.
It's not a subcommittee because there's no committee.
Executive director's recommendation, so. The
Okay,
I2.
right, recruiting committee, okay.
And then
So
will
is
this
that-
be sharing their minutes with the rest of us or just with the PC?
We Denise, we have a recurring, we're gonna be bringing this item forward every month at our meeting. And so
Right.
we will be discussing, you know, progress and updates. from
Okay, thank you.
But there really won't be formal minutes, it'll just be more y'all's
Yeah,
notes.
I mean, I'm sure I'll have a rolling agenda that we will share with the committee,
Okay,
you know, but yeah.
are you the chair of this committee?
I think I will be, yes, yes, I will be.
Okay.
I think that,
Yes.
this is a comment, I think that, probably the first order of business for the first meeting of this committee will be, an organizational meeting.
Yes.
And we'll need to, elect the chair, probably a vice chair, talk about things such as agendas, timing of meetings, minutes, all of those kinds of organizational matters will have to be, even the name, I think this is a tentative name.
Yeah.
Even the name will need to be,
Yeah,
determined by
right,
the committee,
Mhm.
which hasn't met yet.
okay. Good point. All right, super. let's go to item 8I, which is our annual report.
I didn't know it was gonna be on the cover.
Yeah.
You got big Billy.
So, we're bringing forward the 24-25 Personnel Commission Annual Report. I wanted to start off by giving a special shout out to Sarah for helping out so much with this report and, you know, updating the look. It looks beautiful, like
Great.
it will at some point be a booklet
Mhm.
that we'll share, and it's just like a nice new modern look.
Yep, it looks great.
Yeah, so, and then, just to kind of recap, what took place this year and what information can be found on the annual report. We, first of all, welcomed our new commissioner, Sally Alpert. He's brought in a fresh perspective, which we really appreciate, to the commission. And then as far as the recruitment activity, we definitely wanted to highlight how we've seen, I think the amount of applications that we've received, they've risen by more than 40%. So, that's a lot. And, we see here that we administered over 2,600 exams. So that's also 59% increase from the previous year. Yeah, oh, you know, try this version.
Well, I can sort of see it. I remember what it said.
So,
You're looking online, right?
so,
Beautiful.
so yeah, 40% increase in applications, 59% increase in exams. And then we also produced 84 eligibility lists. We had a very challenging layoff period this year, and we had to administer about 176 potential layoff notices, which was not easy for our district. 15 employees were ultimately impacted, and 2 of those resulted in a full layoff. So, but on the other hand, we also were able to establish 48 new I2 SPED positions, and then many more to come. We also had a very, very successful hiring fair where we brought in about 90 candidates who started the testing and application and onboarding process. And so I do think that it's been an extra collaborative year with, you know, our union leadership and our HR partners. I want to also acknowledge the Personnel Commission team. They worked. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
I was just thinking about how hard the team worked, and it's been a personally challenging year. But we got through it. We were short-staffed, but we definitely had wonderful numbers, and everyone took on extra work to stay focused on our mission. And so I just want to give them a special thanks. So we're super optimistic looking ahead and committed to supporting the district and looking forward to seeing the growth and change. So.
This is a beautiful report, and I have to say, one of the things I love is the section where we get to see the rest of the commission, you know, the commission staff, which is a first. I do have a question just about one thing. As you know, I like numbers, you know, so I looked at the transactions just to try to figure out how things have changed year over year. And what I noticed was the performance exams were almost like a 4x increase. What changed to make us do so many more performance exams?
You know, I think a lot of that pivoted to our previous numbers were a little lower because we were still kind of reeling from COVID. And then, we did change some of our testing approaches, how we approach testing for certain classifications, so like for our custodial positions. And that's probably where most of these are coming from.
Mhm.
We wanted to be more inclusive of candidates that probably were challenged with written exams, and so we kind of changed our testing approach to performance-based exams.
Yes,
Yeah, this year, so.
super. Do other commissioners have comments? Please.
Well, first and foremost, this is fantastic. It's
Yes.
truly fantastic. I think this is, for me, way more for Heidi, but for me, I think the 6th annual report that I have reviewed. And this is so head and shoulders above anything I've seen in the past. And Aaron, Sarah, all of the staff who worked on this to absolutely be commended for doing a wonderful job. I mean, it's clear, it's compelling, it's informative. It has just every element that one could want in something like this. And so you did mention creating this sort of leaflet, I guess you'd call it. So I was wondering how you intend to disseminate this within the district. I don't know about within the Berkeley community, but within the district, at least.
Yeah.
What are the plans for getting this out?
Yeah, so we definitely have to, we're obligated to first of all forward it to the board. Because they need to receive it this month, and so we're definitely gonna be forwarding that to the board. But we were just discussing with Sarah how we can get our print shop to get some of these printed out for us, and then we were going to send them to all of our sites. And then obviously blasting them on our website, and then also I was gonna collaborate with our communications officer to see if there's some way we could add this to our staff newsletter that we get every that's sent out. It's every week or every 2 weeks.
New hire orientation packet,
Oh, that's a good idea.
right?
too.
Yeah,
The new
super
classified-
important. Yeah,
Yeah, we do have a new classified employee orientation every, it's about every 2 months, so we can definitely put it there.
Yeah.
So that our new hires should see there.
yeah.
Don't know if you mentioned this just now, Aaron, we went through a few things, I'm not sure if I caught it or not. I know on the website for the school district, sort of the very first item when you look at the website is sort of news,
Yeah.
what's new in the district or something, and there's usually 3, 4, 5 things, and they're not all like brand new, but they're, within the last month or two. Is there the possibility, or again, you may have mentioned this just now, I just wasn't listening enough. Is there a possibility of putting this on that what's new, just having a link to it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because, we have our webpage, but, it's not often that people go.
Yeah, we're
for
pretty
that.
embedded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we could definitely find some way to link it with so that would be our communications department. And I can make that request.
Yes, I think that would be great. The other thing is, and I don't know if this is possible or even advisable, but generally speaking, something like this would be either on the board's consent calendar, or maybe not even that, it would be on the informational calendar, which, pretty much gets buried and nobody looks at it. I am wondering if this could be, or even should be, an item where maybe you would, and maybe with the help of our chairperson, actually, present it to the board as an agenda item, for their review.
Yeah.
Something to think about. I don't know if it's a good idea or not.
I would say in the past, it has been an informational item. It's always at the end, which means you're presenting it, at 9 o'clock at the earliest.
It's not even being presented
Right,
as an information.
right, well, it's
Nobody-
just.
It's just there.
Yeah. So, we could certainly ask to do that. I don't see a lot of value hanging out at the board meeting until, you know, the very end to have 30 seconds to present an informational item.
I do also plan to send a follow-up email directly to each board member
Right.
to send
You,
them.
you are going exactly where I was,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
what I'm interested in.
Yeah, I think sending it individually, it was, you know, probably the best,
Oh,
you know, touch we could do with this. I mean, it should be an informational item just as a public item. But, you know, by the end of the board meeting, typically everybody's ready to go home.
well, again, informational items aren't even discussed.
Right.
They're below consent items.
Right, right. And there's nothing for them to consent on with this, so, yeah. But I definitely do like I like all of these ideas, getting it printed, putting it on the website in a, you know, a lead position, at least for a little while. Sending it directly to board members, you know, these are all great ideas.
Great job. And I hate to give suggestions, but a suggestion, I think it would be great to go in new hire packets. If we do put it in new hire packets for the future, I think it'd be great to have a page that had like, here are the reasons you should contact the Personnel Commission. Like, I think a lot of people, you know, just as we were discussing, people don't know about these things. Like here, you know, if you feel like if you wanna request XYZ things, here's what you can request from us, and here's how you contact us. I think that'd be a great thing for a future report, so that it's useful for giving to employees, so that it has something actionable for them to do in it. But otherwise, excellent.
Our new classified employee orientation, there are some slides that directly speak to how the PC.
When do you go to HR? When do you go to the PC?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
we
just-
can try to, you know, look at that and see if there's a way we can.
Right, just like,
add-
here are the things that we, you know,
Yeah.
service we provide, and here's our email. You know, something like that.
If we can do that on the last page, when to call PC.
And you know what?
We were like trying to figure out.
That's, yeah, no,
Blank
that
page
would be
here.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That would be, that would be great. While we're having suggestions, maybe the other thing that the print shop could help us with is the colors are beautiful, but as you know, the printing, when people are trying to print on a black and white, is a little rough. Maybe they can help us with the contrast.
Yeah.
Just to punch it up a little bit.
Yeah, we're
We'll
probably
get
gonna
it
do it
printed in
in color.
color, so
Yeah.
that'll be.
Right.
easier.
Right, no, but if someone's printing it from a website or something, yeah, it's, so we don't get what Izzy is looking at. Yeah. Okay, I see that Denise has her hand up about this. I'm not sure if anybody else does. Denise, go ahead, please.
Yes, I was wondering, you guys know I'll be trying to keep up with the discussion items. Number 9, it doesn't have a page number, and I've gone through everything and couldn't find it. Is that something that wasn't included and maybe included next time?
65, page 65.
Page 55.
Well, no, sorry, let me make sure.
It
Oh,
says
no,
page
closed session.
66 to
Yeah.
72.
There wouldn't be anything.
Closed session, there's nothing, but are you talking about, sorry, go ahead, I should.
Right, no, I'm sorry. Are you talking about the annual report or are you talking about something else?
I'm talking about discussion 9, discussion items,
You mean conference items?
I'm sorry, let me get back up to the agenda. So in the agenda, discussion 9 refers to okay, that's the minutes. I don't want the minutes. Discussion 9, item 9 this annual report and update on IA, SPED recruiting hiring. I couldn't find that. I don't see a page number. Maybe I'm missing something, and if I am, then it could be included for the next time, and then I can see it, because we don't want to stay any longer. But I wasn't.
The only two agenda items we're discussing that aren't the step advance requests are the IA SPED process, which is on page 65,
Okay,
and then
so
the personnel report, which starts on page 66.
okay, so you're saying go to 65 and then it's on 66?
Yeah, 65 for the IA SPED stuff and 66 for the annual report.
Okay. 65, 64. See, for me, on 64, I have UC Davis Health. This is in regard to the application hiring? Is that what this is in? That's what's on 64 for me.
No, Denise, we're starting to think you're looking at something different from what we're looking at. We're looking at today's agenda for November 17th, right? That's what you're looking at?
That's what I'm looking at. And I looked at the agenda and it didn't have a page number. That's why I was asking. Because I kind of went through everything,
Yeah.
didn't see it. And then you're saying it's on page 65, which has the minutes, but for me, it's something else. That's what I'm, and.
Yeah,
it may be-
we're a little confused too at what you're looking at. So I'm gonna suggest that you connect with Erin tomorrow.
Denise, are
On the
you at the office tomorrow, at the district office?
No, I'm off tomorrow, but if you could just send me the information, email me, that would be fine.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, we'll resend
And
today's
then Wednesday, when I
agenda.
come back, we can have a discussion, but I'm off tomorrow.
Okay,
Okay, we'll
Be in
resend
touch, I
today's
promise.
agenda.
Thank you.
I'll make a comment. I don't even know if this is something that can easily be done because I think you've made a really good effort, especially on the conference items, to tell us what pages. If you're doing it in Word, are you able to actually index? You know, sometimes people can click on these as a link and they can go right to the item.
that's
Yeah,
pretty
I think
hard.
Yeah,
We're doing them on PDFs and then.
all right, yeah,
Yeah.
all right,
I guess
PDF,
we'll be
okay.
better off.
All right, we'll have to think some
Yeah.
more about that, but I think first we need to make sure we're all looking at the same document because it
Yeah.
sounds like Denise is looking
Might
at
be
something
looking at
else.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anyone else who has comments about item 8I? The report? All right, seeing none, do I have a motion to accept this report?
So moved.
All
Second.
No, Solly beat me to it.
right, we're gonna give it to Solly and we'll let
I
it
win.
be the.
And my face is on it
second.
after all. you know?
And
You're
that's
the
right,
cover.
and I agree, really nice job, nice job. Okay. So item 9 is closed session, and I think we should do it, it will be very brief,
Okay,
because I don't have everything.
okay.
Um,
And I have to run soon, so.
okay,
good for me.
so we're gonna go into closed session at 6:28 PM. All right, are we good?
Recording.
Okay, we are back from closed session. It's 6:45, so my estimate was off by just a little, but not nearly as bad as it has been in the past. We conferred on aspects of the performance evaluation for the executive director and determined next steps. Moving on to item 11, public comment. I don't know if there's anybody left on the Zoom call. There's
No.
nobody left in the room except us. Anybody have a public comment? Okay, seeing none. We will meet again on December 17th, which is a Wednesday, right? But sort of a week earlier than we might otherwise meet. And are we meeting here or in the boardroom? Is it easier for you all to meet here? Is it?
I mean, for us, it is easier because we work here,
That's enough for me.
but
Well, I'm mindful that Union doesn't, Union often came when we
To the
were in
boardroom.
the
That's
boardroom. They don't seem to be able to make it here the same
Well, Frank
way.
was here, he
On
attended on Zoom,
Yeah.
so,
Mhm.
I'm open to either, maybe we can check in with Max to find out if there have been any issues at the boardroom. And then kind of depending on what he says, I can let you know, and then
Okay.
we can make a call.
Did we even ask for the boardroom on the
Mhm.
17th?
Yeah,
All right,
it's still
so we
reserved,
have
but-
it. All right, because the other thing we can do is we can continue here to the end of the year and then decamp back maybe to the boardroom. Beginning
Here,
of
I'm fine.
beginning
with
of
whatever we do.
6. If that's.
maybe you're in your room.
Okay, new year, new room, exactly. All right, so why don't we say 12/17 here at Parker?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Want to comment on dates, if we're done with the 12/17 date? I have a potential conflict on the February 25th date.
Actually, so do I.
Oh, good.
Probably not for the same reason as you, but
No, I
okay.
doubt it.
Okay.
But nonetheless, and I know, Solly was talking about perhaps moving our dates from Wednesday to a different date, like Monday. Which, you know, may be problematic for staff, but. You know, I could do, I don't know what your conflict is, but on February 25th, I would be happy to do it that Monday.
I still have the same problem with that Monday. I could do like the 26th. I'll be
No.
back in town.
For the 24th.
No, I can't.
No, I'll still be out of town.
Yeah, I'm gonna be out of town too.
You know, I would be
The
attending remote.
26th, I suppose the 26th is a possibility for me.
Mhm. It's a Thursday. How's that?
26th. I could do.
You do? All right.
We probably need to be here in Parker Street because the boardroom is not available.
Mhm.
It's reserved for the city of Berkeley, I think.
Right. Okay,
Let me just. I didn't think we were gonna actually be discussing it, but
I think it's a little too early to officially do something, but if we sort of talked about, you know, possibly holding the 26th, same time, 4:30.
yeah, 26th would probably be doable. Yeah. 4:30.
Okay. Why don't we just hold the date then? And when we get to January. we
Great.
can-
Yeah. And, you know.
Or I'll
if
hold
you've got a
February
conflict on
26th.
The 25th, and I've got a conflict on the
Right,
25th.
there's good.
Sort of
reasons,
sounds
so-
like 25th is not gonna work,
Yeah,
no matter
well,
what,
I would do it remotely, but Sally would be here by himself.
You wouldn't have a quorum.
and we wouldn't have a quorum.
Has to be.
Do we need a?
You need two people.
in-person forum?
You need two
Okay.
people within the jurisdiction of your body, so someone could participate remotely, I believe, from within Berkeley. Do we need, I don't know, there's
I don't even know.
The
I'd
Brown
rather
Act
just be two in
Yeah.
person.
arcane and
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was in person.
it might be in
Okay.
person.
Let's hold this date then, 26th. of February. Okay,
I move to adjourn,
Okay,
um,
second.
then consider it done, 6:49.
perfect timing,
Very good.
very good.
Fast.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm watching the lift pull up.